the heart of the ancient desert, where the sands stretched beyond sight and the stars shone like 1,000 pearls, there lived a girl named Layla. Layla was no ordinary girl. She was known across her village of Al-Qamar for her kindness and her laughter, which rang like silver bells in the wind. She lived with her old grandfather, Hakim, in a small stone house on the edge of the village, where the desert began its endless song. Hakim was once a great storyteller, and each night, under the shimmering blanket of stars, he would tell Layla tales of the ancient jinns, of brave heroes, and hidden treasures buried under dunes older than time. But among all the stories, one always fascinated Layla the most: the story of the desert flower. According to Hakim, somewhere deep in the desert, beyond the lands where the sun burned even the hardiest traveler, grew a flower of such beauty and magic that it could heal any wound, bring water to the driest wells, and light up the darkest night. Many had sought the desert flower, but none had ever returned. Layla would sit by the fire, eyes wide with wonder, and dream of finding the desert flower. "One day, grandfather," she would say, "I will find it and bring it back to our village. No one will ever go hungry or thirsty again." Hakim would smile, his eyes full of both pride and sadness. "My sweet Layla," he would whisper. Sometimes the greatest treasures are not what we think, but Layla's heart was set. One golden morning, as the first light kissed the sands, Layla packed a small satchel. She filled it with dates, water, a map drawn from her grandfather's stories, and a small, woven charm, a gift from her mother long ago. She kissed Hakim's forehead as he slept and whispered, "I will return." With the rising sun behind her, she stepped into the desert. The heat was fierce, and the dunes rose like mighty golden waves. Every step Layla took sank into the sand, making the journey harder, but her spirit burned brighter than the sun. Days passed. Her water grew scarce. She met no living soul, only the whisper of the desert wind and the calls of distant hawks. One night, weak and tired, Layla collapsed beside a dune. Tears blurred her vision. Was this the end? She thought. As she drifted into sleep, she dreamt of a soft voice calling her name. Layla. Layla. When she opened her eyes, the moon was full and bright, and before her stood a strange figure, a woman draped in shimmering robes that seemed woven from the night sky itself. "Who are you?" Layla asked, her voice trembling. "I am the guardian of the desert flower," the woman said, her voice like a melody. "Why do you seek it?" Layla summoned her last strength. "To save my people, to bring hope." The guardian smiled sadly. "The path is not easy. Many come for greed or glory and are lost. But your heart is pure. Follow the stars to the Oasis of whispers. There your true journey begins." Before Layla could speak, the woman vanished into mist. Layla rose, renewed with purpose. She watched the stars carefully, recalling her grandfather's teachings. After a long, grueling walk, just as the first light painted the sky, she stumbled upon it, the Oasis of Whispers. It was a magical place. Palm trees bowed low, a clear pool sparkled like a sapphire, and the air smelled sweet and cool. But it was not empty. Around the pool sat 3 travelers, each stranger than the last. The first was a merchant dressed in silks, counting gold coins. The second was a warrior polishing his jeweled sword. The third was an old woman with eyes sharp as a hawk's, holding a mirror. Layla approached the old woman first. "Please," she said, "I seek the desert flower." The old woman smiled a sly smile and held up the mirror. "The flower you seek," she said, "is within." Layla peered into the mirror. She saw herself, tired, dusty, but her eyes still sparkled with hope. Confused, she thanked the woman and turned to the merchant. "For a price," he said, "I can give you a map." "I have no gold," Layla said. "Then your dreams will have to guide you," he said with a shrug. The warrior merely laughed. "Strength alone finds the flower," he boasted, lifting his sword. Layla felt a pang of doubt. Was she strong enough? Was she wise enough? But she remembered the guardian's words. "Follow your heart." She drank from the oasis, filled her satchel anew, and set off again, alone. As Layla ventured deeper, the desert changed. The sands turned white as salt, and the winds howled like wolves. Soon, 3 great winds rose before her, each shaped like a mighty spirit. The first wind, hot and red, whispered, "Turn back. You will die if you go on." The second, cold and blue, hissed, "Sleep here. Forget your quest." The third, green and swift, sang, "Trust yourself. Run with me." Torn between fear and hope, Layla closed her eyes and listened, not to the winds, but to her heart. She stepped forward into the path of the green wind. It lifted her, carried her across the salt desert, and set her gently on the edge of a canyon, where the air smelled sweet and the earth shimmered. And there, growing from a crack in the rock, was a single flower. Its petals glowed with a light beyond any jewel or treasure Layla had ever seen. She knelt before it, tears streaming down her face. She had found it. As Layla reached out, the guardian appeared again. "You have done well," she said, "but the flower cannot be taken." Layla froze. "But my village," the guardian touched her shoulder. "The magic of the flower is not in its petals. It is in the spirit that seeks it, the spirit that refuses to give up, that gives hope, that believes even when the road is hardest." Layla bowed her head, understanding at last. The guardian smiled. "Return to your people. Teach them hope. Teach them to believe in themselves." Layla stood. She felt no sadness. She felt stronger than she ever had before. The flower's glow entered her heart, filling her with warmth and courage. When Layla returned to Al-Qamar, she found the village weary and dry. Crops had failed. Wells were empty. But Layla stood tall before them, her eyes bright as the desert dawn. She shared her story of courage, of kindness, of never giving up. She led them to dig new wells deeper than before, to plant seeds even when the soil was poor, to believe in a better tomorrow. And little by little, life returned. The village flourished, not because of magic, but because of hope, the true desert flower that bloomed within them all.